Welcome to Leighanne's Voice Podcast. This is where we chat about voiceover tips for anyone starting out in the industry, plus some great confidence boosting speaking tips for women who want to show up, speak clearly, and be heard. Think of it like having a friendly voiceover coach in your ear, encouraging you, guiding you, and helping your voice truly shine. So grab a drink, get comfy, and let's get into it. When people hear me, they often assume my confidence comes from experience. They hear the recordings, see the content, and think, oh, she sounds confident. And they're right. I am a naturally confident person. I've always been willing to put myself out there, try new things, and take action. But listen up. Here's what I've learned over the years. Confidence and competence, they're not the same thing. Confidence might get you started, but practice is what helps you improve and go up the ladder. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Because whether you're just starting out in voiceover, we've all been there, or you've been doing it for a little bit, there's a huge lesson I've learned behind the mic, which I want to share with you today. Practice, my love. Nah, practice ain't perfect. Practice creates progress. Progress creates confidence. And confidence creates momentum. You got that? There's also one of the reasons why I created my voiceover confidence starter kit. Because when you're starting out, it's not just about having confidence. It's about knowing what to practice, how to improve, and how to keep moving forward. So today I'm taking you behind the mic and sharing my personal journey, like the lessons, the mistakes, the growth, and the things I wish I'd known. Do you want to check out the voiceover confidence kit? Go on my website, leighannesvoice.com. If not, stay with me. I've got a few more tips I want to share. So let's go back 10 or so years. When I officially became interested in voiceover professionally, I'd always loved talking, loved reading out loud, but going for it. I was, my dear, I was excited. I knew it was something I wanted to explore. I love the creativity, storytelling. I love the idea of using my voice professionally and getting paid for it. I was like, whoa. And because I'm naturally confident, I wasn't afraid to start. No, I was eager. But starting and succeeding, my dear, these are two very different things. I quickly realized there was so much to learn. Breathing, pacing, delivery, performance, script interpretation, mic technique, recording, editing. The list goes on and on and on and on. It seems endless. And like many beginners, I assumed that because I felt confident, behind the mic, things would just automatically come together. Get me bookings, get this client, all of this, all of that type of stuff. What I discovered was that confidence gets you through the door. Practice keeps you in the room. The more I recorded, the more I realized how much there was to improve. Not because I wasn't capable. I obviously had a gift and talent God gave me. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's because every skill takes time to develop. You got to think of yourself, even like when God created you in the womb. You were like a little egg or a seed. I don't know too much about science in that perspective. And then you blossomed into this beautiful baby. It takes time. Greatness takes time to create. That's what I'm saying. Even like with your voiceover, it takes time to create. Now, looking back, I've made some mistakes that actually slowed down my progress. One of the biggest ones was expecting improvement to happen faster than it did. I wanted to sound like an experienced voiceover artist immediately. That radio promo voice. That is not my voice, by the way. Like that, I don't do that usually. I mean, I could if you want to negotiate a deal and project, but that's not really my thing. I wanted every recording to be amazing, to be perfect. I wanted every real read, right, to feel effortless. But growth doesn't work like that. Like even as a baby, you start crawling, you start walking, then you run, and it ain't even in that smooth order. You crawl a little bit, walk a little bit, fall down. You run. It's that progress. You improve by doing, not by wishing, not by waiting, by doing. And another mistake was focusing too much on the outcomes. Sometimes you can be like really results driven. I was thinking about bookings, opportunities, and future success, when really I should have been praying a lot harder first, and I should have been focusing more on mastering the basics. Because the people who succeed in voiceover aren't usually the people who practice once in a while. They're the people who keep showing up. again and again and again and again, even when they're still learning, even when they're not perfect, even when nobody's watching. Usually in voiceover, nobody ain't watching you anyway. No one ain't watching me. If you were, wow, good luck to you, my dear. Listen, the biggest shift happened when I stopped measuring success by results and started measuring success by my own personal improvement. Instead of asking, am I there yet? Like if you've got kids, and they're in the back of the car and they want to know you're there yet, just like, please. Instead of asking, am I there yet? I started asking, am I better than I was last month, 2 months ago, 6 months, this time last year? That, my dear, that changed everything, because suddenly every recording became valuable. Every practice session mattered. Every mistake became feedback for me. And once I started seeing progress, my confidence grew even more. Not because I was convincing myself I was good, but because I had evidence. I could hear the difference. I could hear the growth. I could hear the improvement in the breathing, the pacing, the delivery. Talking like there's just one person, just me and them, And that's confidence. That's the confidence that nobody can take away from you. Once you got it and you work on that bad boy, you have that. And that confidence comes from knowing you've done the work. So do the work and you'll improve in your confidence. Honestly, that when I created my voiceover confidence start kit for you guys, if you haven't got a copy, go on to leighannesvoice.com, because it's like the big sister that I needed when I started out. I would have loved having a simple toolkit that told me what to practice, how to improve. Inside this, you'll find some handy tips that I put in, which I think will help you, because it would have helped me at the beginning with my audio book, confidence audio tips, frequently asked questions, some affirmation cards, script practice templates, and a mini masterclass as well. Everything is designed in that confidence kit to help you build genuine confidence through consistent action. Not just motivation, because motivation is never there when you need it, man. Real progress, okay? You can check it out on the website. If I could sit you down with the version of me 10 years ago or so when I just started voiceover, I would say this to my 10 years voiceover self. Keep going, Lee. You have got it. God has given you a gift and a talent nobody can take away from you. People love hearing your voice. Sometimes when you meet people, they say, you've got a nice voice, Trust the process. Stop worrying about how far you have left to go. Focus on today's practice. Focus on today's script, today's work. Focus on today's improvement. Don't compare yourself to chapter 1 of somebody else's chapter 20. Not going to work. Don't expect perfection. Don't even try and do perfection. Like, who invented that anyway? Expect progress. It can be slow, it can be fast, it can be a mixture of the two. And remember that every professional voiceover started somewhere, someplace. Nobody was born knowing how to deliver the perfect script, how to put the pace in, how to put the emphasis and the emotional pace, No one was born like that. People need to learn it. Nobody was born knowing mic technique or how to perform confidently all the time. These scripts were built one recording at a time, script by script, confidence by confidence, So that is my story in a little nutshell. Not a story of someone who lacked confidence, because if you see me and you know me, you speak to this girl's quite confident. I've actually always been quite confident. I think probably the household that I was raised in, I'm number 5 of 5 girls. Everybody was a great speaker. Mum was very confident. My dad was more so quiet. I'm born into confidence. So when I speak to you, I want to give you a dose of that confidence. Well, if you ain't got none, I want to give you some. I've actually always been quite confident, and I want you to work through these techniques. Keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, keep remembering that God gave you gift and talents. That's why you got this great voice. That's why if you listen to this, you like doing voiceover or speaking confident, or you just like listening to me. I love that too. I've never been someone who's waited for permission or needed everyone else's approval before trying something new. That's not your girl. Here's what I've learned through 10 plus or so years. Over a decade of doing voiceover full time. Praise the Lord. Confidence alone isn't enough. Confidence might get you to press record, but practice is what makes you better. Practice creates progress. Progress creates evidence, and evidence creates even more confidence. And that's the cycle. The more I recorded, the more I improved. The more I improved, the more confidence I had. Not because I was telling myself I was good, because I could actually hear my growth. That's why I always encourage people to stop chasing perfection and start chasing consistency. Record more, practice more, learn more, improve more. because every recording teaches you something different. Every mistake teaches you something. Every piece of practice moves you forward. And if I could give one piece of advice to anyone listening today, it would be this. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start where you are with what you got. Use what you have in your hand. Okay? Use what you have. Trust the process. Get started and let your confidence be backed by preparation and practice. That's why, as I say, I created the Voiceover Confidence Starter Kit, packed with tools and tips, exercise scripts, affirmations, guidance that's going to help you build real confidence. The kind that comes from knowing you've put in the work. And I want to say, my love, thank you so much for listening today. Keep showing up, keep practicing, keep improving. And remember, your next recording could be better than your last one. And I'll see you in the next episode. That's it for today's episode of Leighanne's Voice Podcast. If you enjoyed this chat and found it helpful, make sure you follow the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you know a woman who's starting her voiceover journey or wants to speak with more confidence, share this episode with her too. Remember, your voice is powerful, your message matters, and the world needs to hear it. Keep practicing, keep showing up, and I'll see you in the next episode of Leighanne's Voice.